This is Jang Do-yeon, and this boy is going to be the #1 clapper of all time after burning out from being a pro League of Legends player. His superpower gives him the ability to always see the rare and elusive victory screen every game, so any girl in the world will literally do anything to be his only e-girl. This guy is so good that even e-boys pretend to be a girl to try and get close to him, as every single one wants a free ride to the top of the leaderboards from a legendary gamer. Even his friends' moms beg him to log onto their game accounts just so he can effortlessly boost them, even going as far as offering their daughters and their rice cakes as a reward. So if any of you guys out there are dreaming to be a pro gamer, don't give up on your dreams, as girls and boys will start sliding in your DMs soon. Just get good first. Anyways, after dropping out from the pro scene, all our boy does now is go to the nearby internet cafe, as everyone there treats him like a king. Even his meals are free since most of the staff members are a bunch of fans. However, one day he hears a super toxic girl behind him constantly blaming her team, as she can't handle how trash her teams are in Roblox frontlines. Eventually, she can't cope anymore on Roblox, so instead, she logs on the least toxic game ever called League of Legends, causing our boy to be a little invested in her raging. Unfortunately for her, our boy discovers that she has committed the worst sin in all of gaming, and that's being super toxic when she's only ranked gold, so you might as well call her Ligma. Regardless, after seeing her lowly rank, our boy starts to chuckle and begins to say out loud that she's just a hard-stuck gold noob that needs to shut up, since she probably can't even handle a gank in her mid lane from a Chad like him. But in reality, our boy actually has never scored a successful gank in real life with his banana tree plantation, as he's never even stepped foot outside his room or his gaming house. So now he finds himself in a pickle as the girl actually confronts him. Of course, our boy starts to get scared as he trembles in front of the support main, as he has never seen balloons as close up before. Nonetheless, he sinks into his chair and begins channeling his Among Us skills to craft an excuse, but he just stutters and says he didn't say anything at all, so she must be imagining things. Unfortunately for Jang, he finds out the hard way that being a god gamer does not translate to him having perfect social skills, as the girl ends up showing our boy how a true chat actually works. Shortly after, Jang finds himself being dragged outside to the alleyway by the girl, where he tries his hardest to find the report button, but Riot can't save him now. She then starts teaching our boy a lesson to never make fun of a girl gamer, as she can either get her internet boyfriend to beat you up, or they can do it themselves, as they transform into a girl boss. However, Jang has something up his sleeve, and it's his sussy hands, so as he gets thrown down onto the sidewalk, he instinctively grabs her cushions, causing both of them to be absolutely shocked with his actions. Upon landing on the ground, our boy finds his left hand absolutely awestruck, as it cannot stop shaking from its very first contact with some glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme. Meanwhile, the Chad girl starts gritting as she can't help herself but continue holding onto her donut using her left arm, where she continues on and asks our boy if he enjoyed the added experience. But Jay makes some silly excuse again, claiming that it was the closest thing he could grab onto, that maybe our boy just wanted to gank some donuts. Nevertheless, she starts cosplaying Marin for My Dress Up Darling as she starts patting his head, telling him that she feels sorry for making him shiver, but she also orders him to never mess with her again. But then suddenly, something awaked within Jang, and let's just say it wasn't his subway, so finally musters up some courage to get back up as the girl and her friend begin to leave. After catching the girls' attentions again by calling them a bunch of hard-stuck bronzies, he puffs out his chest and commands the girl to apologize to him like a true Chad. However, the girl gets riled up again, so she starts clapping back by calling him a silver commando as she saw what rank he was, but unbeknownst to her, the account he was on was his friend's account he was boosting. But since her gold ego is through the roof, she refuses to believe him and decides to call him out by sending him a 1-versus-1 duel where winner takes all. Our boy then discovers that the girl is putting everything on the line, so she offers the chance of him reclaiming her donuts again if he's able to beat her. But if he loses the duel, then he only has to pay for her entire yearly use costs at the internet cafe, so of course he agrees in a heartbeat. Eventually, as the blood rushing down stops filling up his banana tree plantation, he snaps back to reality and realizes the math on this offer does not add up. As such, our boy nervously stops walking back with her to the internet cafe, after it dawns on him the reward is unequally balanced towards him, so he starts pestering her to change the offer or he's going to back out. However, our boy is actually a genius, as he knew he would win no matter what, so any extra prizes is icing on the ice cream cake, and the girl actually bites. In literally less than a second, the turntables turn back into Sussy Street as she whips out the pyramids of Giza in plain sight of the pro gamer, telling him he can do whatever he wants to the donuts, causing her friend to pass out beside her. Although the offer isn't much better than he expected, he feels forced to accept as other people begin staring at them from other alleys, so he didn't want to seem like a supreme sussy baka in front of anyone. Regardless, mere seconds later, her friend wakes back up and hurries to cover up for her. But the girl doesn't care as she's too busy trash-talking Jang, claiming she will bring him to his knees. Now, not really sure about who's the one that's actually going to end up on their knees, as our boy is secretly trying his best to keep it all in, knowing that the victory screen is just 1 inch away. Fast forward to a few hours later, back inside the PC Bang, the girl finally realizes who she truly is up against, as she made the mistake of wanting to duel one of the greatest nerds to ever grace gaming. With the red screen of defeat showing up on her screen, no matter what cheese she tries, she ends up giving up and proceeds to put her gold head down in shame. The girl even begins to start crying as her head slumps down on the desk, unable to believe she got utterly destroyed over and over, just like the Warriors when we Laker boys win tonight. Nonetheless, as Jang watches his opponent writhe in pain from her defeat, he ends up being impatient and interrupts her by saying he wants his promised prize now. Of course, she hesitates as she never expected for the silver nerd to beat her, and now she needs to live with the consequence of being a cocky Gold League of Legends player. The turntables then turn again, as our boy is now the Chad ready to claim his prize, but the girl starts sweating profusely, trying her best to figure out an excuse. She ends up calling him a hacker as the best thing she could come up with, so even her friend gets embarrassed at her accusations, as the girl thinks there's no way a silver boy can transform into Faker all of a sudden. Jang then accidentally lets it slip that being a mechanical god allows him to dodge any ability at will, even in Malphite ult point blank, as he used to be a pro player. But luckily for our boy, she refuses to believe him, allowing Jang to continue keeping his identity secret. Instead, she starts yelling at him for a rematch. However, this time they double down like KFC's chicken sandwich, where the girl offers to take his banana tree fruit for the first time ever if she loses. Upon hearing the new demands, our boy realizes this is an offer he literally cannot refuse, as his banana tree plantation starts taking over his very logical decisions, so he instantly accepts pants first. With Jang actually accepting, her friend chimes in and tries her best to convince her to stop what she's doing, but the girl claims a hardcore gamer as herself won't lose 1 versus 1 against a silver noob. She then reassures her friend that she will be clapped the absolute hell out of the silver loser, even though she just called him a hacker minutes before. Regardless, she leads her friend on the ground looking absolutely dazed with her questionable life choices, as she's so ready to put Jang where he belongs. Unfortunately, this time the girl turned into disguised toast on the ground after watching his team go winless, as Jang decides to quickly gank her mid lane over and over. She even made our boy use her PC instead mid-match to make sure he wasn't using any cheats, but she still ended up smashed like my potatoes. To make matters worse, her friend Yunji decides to abandon her as well due to her knowing there's no way she can wiggle out of this one. With the two finally alone, Jang starts to hurl insults back at her for trash-talking the entire 1 versus 1, but he's nice enough to let her change the conditions of the bet. Surprisingly, she gives up trying to make an excuse and proceeds to actually go through with her word, so she tells our boy that the two needs to find a motel, as they can't do rice cake smashing with surveillance cameras watching. Nevertheless, the two end up finding themselves inside a fancy hotel called the Clio, because the girl is about to go Cleopatra on his Grand Caesar. Although the girl only wanted a motel, our boy ended up splurging on a hotel since he has no idea there were places built just for people to rice cake smash overnight, but we gotta forgive him as he's using his extra virgin olive oil. Now that it seems like Jang is flexing his pro player's salary, the girl gets frustrated but gets on with business as usual by putting parts of her armor on its armor stand. Shortly after, she lays down with the Honkai impacts, showing off her nature whilst letting our boy know that she's fulfilling her part of the bargain, so he's free to do whatever he wants next. However, our boy has no idea what to do as he's never gotten this far in real life except in dating sim games, so she orders him to hurry up and stop being a total noob. Jang then continues to be a noob as he stands over the bed, looking like Rafiki, raising up Simba from the Lion King as he has zero clue on what to do with his gamer hands. As such, the girl starts getting impatient as the cold air is quickly turning her pyramids into very dangerous and pointy tips, so she warns Jang she'll head home soon if he doesn't make a move. Upon hearing her wanting to leave due to his inability to gank in real life, he ends up mustering some courage to continue on forward by telling himself that after 21 years, this is the closest chance he will ever get to be a true champion. And so Jang finally conquers his fears as he starts telling himself he can't Baron Throne now if he's the only one able to stay inside the Baron's pit after winning over the Elder Dragon. Unfortunately, just as he was about to secure the win for Team Jang, he randomly stops right before impact by telling the girl out loud his name, followed by letting her know he goes to Hanjae University. Now come on man, who the heck does that? Our bro really do be trying his best to cosplay the biggest throw on Earth, even though he's the only one on the server. Regardless, after the epic display of such Sigma male mindset, the girl starts laughing hysterically and ends up actually calling our boy cute, as he's never even heard a man ever do such a thing in real life or in anime. In the end, the two actually slowly start bonding as she reveals that she too went to the same university, but she's already a graduate, making her the best mama around. Anyways, let's cut to the chase. After a couple more scenes, we skip to the part where he finally experiences his first ever cloud donut in his life, causing him to start crying tears of joy. After grabbing hold on them Krispy Kreme donuts, he accidentally hears a sussy sound, but the girl lets him know that's just what donuts sounds like, so our boy starts to think donuts come with built-in speakers. After learning that he could probably play dubstep on them, he starts cosplaying his childlike self and proceeds to yoink and sculpt the donuts like it's some kind of Play-Doh, since he's a noob after all. So our boy literally plays around with them for the entire 15 minutes he's allowed to make contact with the gigantic mochi balls, but then he hits the jackpot. Using his big brain, he's able to figure out that under the terms of the duel, he can actually weaponize the same part of his body that he uses to flame people on voice chat. So the girl realizes she's in trouble now, but rules are rules and she's actually sticking true to her word, so our boy starts treating the vanilla donuts like it's turned into the last Oreo McFlurry available from McDonald's. And as he treats the ice cream cone without any ounce of respect, lightning electrifies his brain cells, telling him it's now time for him to evolve into his final form, the Chad Gamer. As such, our boy closes his eyes, which isn't very Sigma at all, just so he could start reaching with his Logitech hand to enter the promised land of the zipped-up catacombs. But to his surprise, he hears the girl say, "Do it," causing him to stop in his tracks and start staring at her bedazzled. After noticing that he stopped leveling up towards his pursuit of greater glory, she tells him to stop being a hard-stuck iron, as it's time for him to straight vibe into Radiant. And so he dives straight in with his dominant side, and our boy is able to quickly show the Goldie why he's a former Rank 1 pro by showcasing his tremendous mechanical skills using his Model O mouse. His pro gamer skills is so superb that it allowed him to seamlessly translate some of his stat points into his clapping skills, allowing for Miss Donut Girl to ask Jang to withdraw her lightweight pants from her inventory immediately. And so mission complete, our boy has now completed the achievement of witnessing not only his first donut ever, but also of his first ever papaya, but the unlock comes with a catch that Jang needs to reveal his banana tree plantation. To make it fair and to prove he's all about women's rights and equality, he decides to comply with her requests and proceeds to reveal his legendary Baron to the Sentinel's fan. Upon the revelation of his true hidden power, boss music starts to play as the girl figures out that his true identity is Faker, since no man can compete with a prince behemoth like his. Our boy then gets flustered and gets embarrassed upon revealing his Faker, since it's made the girl recall back to base slowly, so he starts thinking that maybe he forgot to take a shower last night after some ranked games. Eventually, the girl comes back to lane and tells Jang there's absolutely nothing wrong with his Faker, but it's more so her fault, as she just doesn't even know if Faker can fit in her mid lane. However, our boy interrupts her while she's busy pondering if his Faker can fit during her laning phase, telling her that she can just check by drinking his Slurpee, since that's what all the main characters do when he reads those sussy books. Initially, he was actually just trolling her, but he gets shocked as he watches her go through with his game plan of her drinking the Baron juice, as she shows off her expert abilities. Eventually, Jang yells out he's sorry right before Faker is unable to flawlessly dodge her attacks. So Faker ends up exploding within Team Mouth, but Faker's Israel skill shots miss the target and leave a mess all over. Now that Faker lost game 1 of the best of 5 series, Jang attacks for game 2, as his Faker was revived instantly even after exploding like some kind of Mega Chad. Now taken by surprise that a rookie is able to instantly recover and be ready for game 2 of the finals for Rice Cake Smashing, his opponent tells him to wait, as she never expected him to be so overpowered. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Jang is able to channel some of his Rizgod 9000 skills he learned from watching some bald guy on YouTube, and he finds it actually works. To his amazement, and without him even saying a single word, the enemy team tells Jang that she's given him the green light to invade her gamer girl walls with his challenger battering ram. Now, truth be told, the gamer girl absolutely gets demolished by Jang's raw talent, since he got gifted for being a gamer god, since when he grows up, that's all he's going to be, just an ex-gamer. But for now, he's not only just a gamer god, but it turns out he's able to awaken his taming god skills, as he's able to successfully tame an A-girl with the use of his Faker powers. Shortly after losing game 2 of the finals, Jang starts to get embarrassed as he notices his opponent starts to look a bit startled again, since his Faker instantly recovers and comes out swinging in full force. So now it's time for game 3, and with it finally underway, the crowd starts chanting for Team Jang to do an ultimate comeback, but unfortunately, Faker gets the first blood, sending Team Gamer Girl into a frenzy. And within just a couple seconds, Team Jang is actually looking like he's about to finally win a game, as Team Gamer Girl starts yelling the unpredictable. Long story short, Jang wins Game 3 as his opponent is the first to explode in battle, leaving her feeling absolutely dazed and bulldozed by the long-time champion. So now that he's actually tamed the wild e-girl by leaving his opponent totally in bliss, our boy realizes that his journey to becoming the rank 1 clapper of all time has now started with outstanding success. After cleaning up their duel arena together, our bro discovers he's so overpowered that his first tamed summon instantly runs away after making it out of the hotel. Bro is so successful that he didn't even get the chance to ask for her number after 3 rice cake destroying sessions in one day, but it's totally okay, as it's time for him to head home. A few days then pass after the crazy ordeal, where Jang heads back to his usual non-professional gamer self-routine of going to school and back home every day, but now he has memory flashes of the successful night he had. Now I don't blame him, as the dude completely took over the match and allowed himself to taste the glorious paradise of being the ultimate duelist by going full send the entire time. Regardless, as he daydreams about his previous encounter, his friend Minsu calls him and asks our boy if he can carry him tomorrow after school. Unfortunately for the bronze noob, Jang tells him he's busy tomorrow even though he truly wishes to be there for him, as destroying noobs gives him an adrenaline rush that can't be compared to anything else. Anyways, Jang continues home a little bit disappointed that he can't go smurf on some noobs tomorrow, but then his eye catches the attention of a bunch of people crowding a popular-looking girl. He then stares and makes a salty remark regarding how life of a pretty girl must be super fun, as she doesn't even have to try and everyone will fall heads over heels to appease them. However, as our boy continues to stare at her looking absolutely jealous, the girl catches him being hawk-eyed, so she runs over to him looking like she's about to call him out. Much to Jang's surprise, she's not here to belittle him or anything, but instead, she blindsides him and asks if he has a moment for her to speak with him. Of course, our boy does not hesitate to agree, as he starts to think word might be going around the female population, that he's superbly skilled in more ways than meets the eye. But as soon as they sit on a bench to talk, his confidence drops to 0, so he starts panicking that he accidentally agreed to some monk or missionary trying to recruit him to their religion. Luckily for Jang, right before he decides to run away, the girl mentions that he probably doesn't remember her, so she whips out her pair of glasses and tries to explain that she was at the internet cafe the day before. As such, it finally dawned on our boy that the nerdy-looking friend is actually her, so he gets shocked at how much makeup can really alter and change someone's appearance. Jang immediately apologizes for not recognizing her, but we all know bro is now super scared to take home a girl that's actually a 2 out of 10 in disguise, even though they look like a goddess in the morning. Nevertheless, after learning that the girl he encountered the other night was named Hyuna, he starts entering his defensive stance, as he thinks the girl is only here to talk to him just so she could expose his deeds. With her eyes starting to droop inquisitively, she begins asking Jang if the two ended up carrying her punishment for losing to him on that fateful day. This causes our boy to instantly react negatively, as he starts thinking that the cat may now be out of the bag, somehow scared that people might find out he's on the global clapping leaderboards. Nonetheless, the turntables turn as it's revealed that Hyuna kept their fateful day secret from her own best friend, so Jang starts feeling a wave of relief enter his body. But then, the disguised nerd starts questioning how a silver boy can effortlessly defeat Hyuna. Even though she's just a goldie, she outplays her rank during 1 versus 1s. Before our boy could answer any of her questions, the nerd drops the bomb by claiming she's thoroughly analyzed and watched hand cams from players like Faker and Shroud, so she knows he's hiding his true identity. She then calls him out by claiming that his mechanical skills can only be matched by those who used to be pro, so she comes to the conclusion Jang must be washed now since he carries Randy's for pocket money. As such, our boy breaks down and starts sweating profusely, thinking that the nerd only showed up to make fun of him and to reveal his true identity to the world. However, the girl interrupts Jang by explaining to him that she's not here to do anything like that, since what she truly needs is a gamer Chad that can carry her to newfound heights. She then continues on by asking if Jang would be interested in making a lot of money by pub-stomping wannabe pro players, but no matter, he ends up taking her offer. Fast forward to the later on the day, the girl shows Jang the entrance to this super mysterious club where gamers wager on who's better, but the entrance happens to be a basement. Now, if I was Jang, I would be a little suspicious. This is about to turn sussy if a girl brings you in broad daylight to someone's basement. Regardless, the two venture on forward until they reach a dead end where Jang is greeted by a sign welcoming him to Hanja University's gaming club called the Gaming Hell, so there's for sure a bunch of Chads hiding behind the door. But then, upon opening the door, there was no Chads to be seen. Instead, there's a bunch of girls using invisibility potions on their clothes, including Hyuna herself. Now, this sight was crazy enough to stun lock both Hyuna's friend and Jang, as even I got surprised, as no one expected the sussy Inquisition to take over behind a university gaming club.